You sat next to last week or ever before, you should be moving your seat. Back row, I'm looking at you because you sit there every day. Alice, Svetlana. Think about switching while we're taking attendance.
Representative Bagat. Representative Brown. Representative Suvak. Proxy. Representative Williams. Representative Volano. Representative In. Representative Tabachnik. Okay. Representative Owaputi. Representative Arumagasami. Representative Smith. Representative Lee. Representative Falkenberg. Representative Law. Representative Hoffman. Representative Lupton. Representative Cummins. Representative Thompson. Representative Chu. Representative Schiller. Representative Beckett. Representative Fernandez. Representative Dooner. Representative Hale. Representative Trong. Representative Ionity. Representative Lundell. Representative Irick. Representative Park. Representative Lee. Representative McKee. Representative Schloff. Representative Gallo.
President voting.
Representative Sabe. Representative DeBoss. Representative Fitch. Representative Singh. Representative Cruz. Speaker Pulaski.
Present.
Treasurer Shah. Treasurer Moser. That's all I've memorized. Parliamentarian Brubaker.
The House.
Vice President Maloney. Vice President Dorbeck. Vice President Hamilton.
Here and voting.
Vice President Downey.
Present voting.
Vice President Agarwal. President Nguyen.
Present voting.
Yay.
Could we have any guests with us tonight? Please stand and we'll recognize you. We'll start from the right this time. As always. Who you are and why you're here. And
Sorry about that.
okay.
Scott McHenry, I'm going to be on the 21st board, so
Okay.
I'm just here to work.
Great to have you. Okay, we'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and we'll start off tonight's board reports. President Nguyen.
Okay, so not much to report. Everything is pretty much on the agenda. A reminder that inauguration is the 21st at 5:30 in the Twing Ballroom. Now, a really important message about that. We are doing an attendance review of representatives and your duties, as well as your attendance in your committees, caucuses, as well as your GA. So your attendance at the inauguration is dependent on whether or not you have been upholding your attendance in those committees. So I will be doing the review with Parliamentarian Brubaker here in the next couple of days. So if you get an email from me saying that unfortunately you did not uphold your responsibilities as a representative, I may have to withdraw you from the inauguration dinner. So please keep that in mind. Other than that, the schedule for the rest of GA is down there. I'm open to points.
Representative Thompson.
There are a minimum amount of people that you have.
A minimum?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You don't have enough room.
No, it's not whether or not we have enough room. It's just whether or not you have upheld your duties as a representative.
Other points for President Nguyen. seeing none. Vice President Agarwal?
Okay, so I'm just going to give up my updates from here. Just myself and Representative Iannetti got to meet with Dr. Dials from Athletics separately to discuss our own resolutions that got passed this semester. So last Friday, I was able to meet with Dr. Dials to talk about the open recreation equipment, and we discussed first the soccer goals, and I explained to him the need for them because the varsity goals are taken away all the time, and students who'd like to play soccer are unable. So he said that, and also Steve Thompson, his assistant in facilities at athletics, was also present, that they would do research and the cheapest goals that they can get. The only issue right now is that the maintenance for those, who is going to put them away? These goals are heavy, but they'll look into their staffing and what they can do about that. However, also, we talked about smaller items like frisbees and footballs, and how those items are only available for issue on south side in Veal. He said he would be completely open to providing that same equipment from the same system on issue, which means you give your case card and you can rent out basically a frisbee. He would be totally open to putting that same system, installing that same system in Wade. However, he would ask that maybe housing would take care of it because he wouldn't have the staff to put over there. But he said that that would be totally possible. So he's gonna keep me updated on that process. And now I'm gonna pass it over to Representative Iannetti to talk about pool hours.
Yeah, I also met with Dave Dials and Steve Thompson, and they seemed pretty open to either modifying the current pool hours or adding additional hours. So they're going to monitor the current usage and see if there's any times where no one's really using the pool that they can take hours away. I also found out that they're a little limited in where they can add hours because since they have a revenue generating responsibility with the university, they actually rent out the pool to like high schools for practices and meets. But I'm expecting to hear back from them by the end of this week or the beginning of next week as to when they can add or modify hours.
We're open to points.
Points for the Student Life Committee. Okay, seeing none. Vice President Downey?
No report. Open to points.
Okay, seeing no points. Vice Treasurer Tip of the Week, my favorite.
Being a treasurer is actually quite fun and cool, and if you guys are interested, nominate yourselves or you can come talk to Jazel or myself. We have office hours on our websites. Yeah.
Points for the treasurers. Okay, seeing none. Vice President Vice President Hamilton. Can't read tonight.
Undergraduate Teaching Excellence Awards reception is next Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30. Everyone in this room should have received an Evite from the undergraduate student government. If you can attend, I'd appreciate it. We have a beautiful menu of hors d'oeuvres, some Middle Eastern cuisine, Indonesian chicken satay, with peanut sauce, some mini crab cakes, and assorted cookies, brownies, and gourmet minis. If that doesn't convince you to come, I don't know what will. I'm open to points.
Points for Vice President Hamilton. Representative Lupton?
Yeah. Have you asked anybody else besides USG for student involvement at the event?
Okay. So we've been trying to contact the Academic Integrity Board to invite them, but some people haven't been too forthcoming with information. Also, my plan was originally to invite the people that gave legitimate nominations for professors as opposed to one-liner ones. Since then, I've thrown that aside, although I'm willing to change it, depending on how many people are going to be at the reception. Anyone else? There are going to be administrators. Provost is going to speak for a little bit. I've invited all the deans from undergraduate studies, so everyone that I interact with on a regular basis.
Yes.
Go for it.
How many people have responded to your Evite?
I don't know off the top of my head. I could check and get back to you. If I had to guess, it's around 30.
Did did you have additional points for yourself?
Also, unrelated to the Undergraduate Teaching Excellence Awards at all, I got some information in terms of next year's incoming class. We have finally gotten our acceptance rate below 50%. My incoming year, it was like over 70. So in the period of 3-4 years, it has dropped drastically.
Representative Thompson?
Just to follow up on that, I remember when,
Rick Bischoff.
well, I used to speak last year, and he was talking about like the admissions. He's like, yeah, I think we have 5 years. I thought that was kind of a big problem. Yes.
Other points for academic affairs? Okay, seeing none, Vice President Dorbeck?
Okay, I'm going to try and keep this short, but I just want to say thank you to all of those in USG who came out to either volunteer at Celebrity Bake Sale or to purchase raffle tickets. I bought a Death by Reese's, or I won a Death by Reese's cake, and I was pretty happy. So it had a great turnout. We made about $243 from that fundraiser alone, and we are now over our goal of $1,000. We're looking at $1,200 right now. And future fundraisers in the next week and a half, we're selling Dippin' Dots on 3 days. This Friday, we'll be selling Dippin' Dots from 10 to 3 in Twing. So I hope that you all come out and buy some Dippin' Dots. And then we will also be selling Dippin' Dots next Tuesday and next Thursday. And that is looking at 11 to 2, and we'll have 2 stations, one in Twing and one in Nord. And then at Relay for Life, we will be selling gourmet grilled cheese and tomato soup for a fundraiser. I will be sending out a sign-up sheet for those to sign up to walk and to work the booth. If you haven't, I sent another email today hoping that you guys would sign up for the team. Now I'm going to pass out a sign-up sheet for the 4th annual Phi Kappa Psi 3 versus 3 soccer tournament, and I was hoping to get a USG team. So the minimum we would need is 3, the maximum is 5, and we can have multiple USG teams. So if you're interested, just sign your name on the sheet. Please pass that around. And then also, we were hoping to have USG movie night this Friday. Again, the movie is Unstoppable. I'll be passing this around. If you're interested, sign your name, and I'll send out a confirmation email that we are still planning on attending. Your ticket cost is covered by USG, and this is just an internal event for bonding. And also, one more thing, there's this event called CWRU Live on Thursday, which is an event for prospective students and families of prospective students to learn more about the university and extracurriculars. I already have plenty of people that will be there, but if you're interested in representing USG and think you have a lot of good things to say about USG, I really don't want to say no to anybody. So send me an email if you're interested in working there, not working, but volunteering. And it's 4:30 to 5:30 in a Delbert gym this Thursday. And then there'll be another CWRU Live April 21st, which again is a Thursday, same time. I'm open to points. Pam?
Did you pick your ticket for winning the coveted Death by Chocolate cake?
I did not. And many people can speak that I seriously had a panic attack. Oh, Emily, sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Just make sure you email me so I know who's all going to be there. Any other points? Yes, I will send out a reminder to everyone about CWRU Live. Thank you.
Representative Lupton?
Yeah, what's going on with this Relay for Life pizza thing?
Oh, thank you, Keith. Thanks. Next Tuesday is our pizza night, and how that works is that you let Keith know what pizza you want from Pizza BOGO. He picks it up, and then when he gives it to you on Tuesday, and you get to eat this whole pizza by yourself, you give him at least $8, and then donations are welcome, and whatever you give beyond the price of the pizza will be donated to our team and Relay for Life American Cancer Society. So he sent out an email, and I'm sure he'll send you another one. But take a look at the menu. It's really awesome, delicious pizza.
Representative Falkenberg.
What is the time frame for that evening?
Yep, so everybody, if you want a pizza, I'll bring it here around 6:45. Okay, so show up a little bit earlier. I think Jared, that event goes from 5:30 to 6:30, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so there's probably going to be a little bit of food left from that anyway, but I really think you guys should get some Pizza BOGO pizza. It's really tasty. Show up at 6:45. The pizza will be here. There's an option. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but if you want to be adventurous and you don't know what pizza you want to do, just say adventurous, and I will choose randomly some pizza that we'll split up.
And you could order a pizza and take it back to your roomies afterwards if you come to UTAs, which I hope you all do.
Yeah, and another thing is, if you want to be adventurous and you want to say a pizza, so you have a favorite pizza, you can put the favorite pizza down, say, I want to be adventurous, and then I'll use that pizza and anybody else who wants to be adventurous, and you just kind of mix and match. So it'll be fun.
It's a good taste test. Other points for the PR committee? Okay, seeing none. Vice President Maloney?
No report.
Points for Vice President Maloney? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into our USG Diversity and Inclusion Ad Hoc Committee update. So, Mr. Ham, would you like to take the podium?
Good evening. Again, I'm Brennan Ham. I am the president of the USG Ad Hoc Committee, Diversity and Inclusion Committee. So I'm here representing them, giving you guys an update. I haven't really been I haven't been in attendance before, so this is my first time. Apologize for being so late. I was supposed to come, I think, 2 weeks ago or something. I don't know, whatever. So anyway, I also apologize for being shoeless. Today is Shoelessness Awareness Day. Representative Falkenberg and I are both participating. So yeah, cool. Right on. Anyone else? No? Okay, bummer. All right. Anyway, update. We have our first event coming up on Thursday. It is our socioeconomic awareness event. So we are presenting the film Slumdog Millionaire. Halfway through the film, we'll be cutting it off and kind of having a informal discussion, as well as there's some sort of candy element into this where you kind of have an ascribed status where we're going to give you candy. I don't know. You'll have to see. So show up. It's fun. It's free. There's pizza. No, there's not pizza. Is there pizza? I don't remember. It's at 7 p.m. on Thursday, so this Thursday. Also, we have a co-sponsorship with Hillel, JSG, Spectrum, and LGBT Center for Ivry Dare, who's coming into town. He's an international pop star. He's gay, and he's going to be talking about what it is like to be gay in Israel and how that sort of translates to the gay experience in the Middle East. So we figured it was a lot of intersectionality, and it was appropriate for us to co-sponsor, so we did. We also have a Relay for Life. We're joining up with Relay for Life. We're doing a unity march, so all of our sort of marginalized groups and their the organizations that we all represent. So we'll be meeting in Veal and marching collectively over to Relay for Life and doing a unity lap once upon arrival. So it'd be pretty cool. I guess that's it. So if you guys have any questions, I'll take them.
What's up?
I'm just kidding.
I'm just wondering, what time is the event for the Slumdog Millionaire on Thursday?
It's at 7 p.m. Okay. 7 p.m. and this will be in Schmidt. Auditorium. So that's like Clark. Not Clark. I'm not an chemistry major. That chemistry building. So it's in there.
Other points for the speaker?
Bummer. Okay, cool.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move into caucus reports. Are there any caucus reports tonight? Representative Beckett.
I'll just do it really quick. We had our event on Friday, our advising event with our peer advising event where students advise students, and it went really, really well. I'm not sure if we ran out of food, but people weren't even taking food. They were so excited to be there. And so we did have some feedback, and we got an average of 4.74 on it being helpful, 4.96. This is out of 5 of people wanting it next semester, so we were really excited. Most of our comments were that they wanted more advisors, bigger room, more chairs. So we're really excited about how it went, and we'll plan on doing it again.
Points for Representative Beckett. Secretary Mueller.
One of my really good friends went and he literally called it the most useful 2 hours he's spent at Case so far.
Excellent. Any other points for Representative Beckett? Okay, seeing none, congratulations on a successful event. Representative Bagat?
Kool-Aids and comments this Thursday from noon to 1. You bring the comments, we bring the Kool-Aid on the KSL Oval. Any points?
Points for Representative Bagat? Okay, seeing none. Any other caucus reports? Representative Gallo?
We had a little discussion about the undergraduate graduate mixer yesterday. We do want to see it continue. So we're just trying to figure out how to sustain it. That's just one thing. We can talk about it next week if you guys want. And another thing is we plan on having one more event this year. You guys aren't invited, sorry. But it's going to be a freshman water balloon fight. So we're planning on having that a reading day because everyone's going to already be around the Wednesday. And we might invite professors. We might not. We don't know yet. And it's going to be awesome. So you guys can look at pictures.
You could have a guest spot a water balloon the incoming and outgoing USG presidents. Could be fun. Think about it. Any points for Representative Gallo? Okay, seeing none. Any other caucus reports tonight? Okay, so we'll now move into old business. Are there any nominations for Color House representative? How about College of Arts and Sciences? And commuter rep? And Hitchcock. Excellent. Representative Bagat.
Move to introduce Bill B 20-11. Take off the table.
Yes. Yes, Vice President Jen. Parliamentarian Brubaker brought it to our attention that we will reintroduce the bill and then hold appeals as an amendment, vote on that as such, and then continue on with the bill itself. So it's like an inception appeals within a bill, if you will. So, if there is a second for Representative Bagat's motion. Okay, Speaker in the Pro. Vice President Downey. Just I figured that was the easiest way to explain it. Inception finance.
Okay. Bill B 20-11, like it was introduced before, deals just with recognizing the student organizations for the next academic year. We recognize all continuing USG organizations on an annual basis, and this is just saying that these organizations are still interested in being the USG organization and continuing the mission that they set forth. So this is just us acknowledging them and then giving them the resources they need through room reservations or what have you. Open up points.
Representative Bagat.
An organization decides to change its name, does it have to get re-recognized? So the 6x4 Kittens have to get re-recognized, or?
No, the name change because the organization is not changing. Its mission is not changing. It's just a name change. It's an internal thing. It does not have to go through a new piece of legislation.
Vice President Dorbeck.
Yeah, no, we actually go through their entire application, the constitution that they submit, and make sure everything that they submitted is exactly as they need it. That's why it takes several weeks, because it's a back and forth process sometimes. But we do check their mission statement, make sure that it's not in line with what another group is doing, so that it's not repetitive.
Representative Lupton?
Can you touch on some of the new groups this semester?
So one of the new groups is the 6'4" kittens, and they're a water polo organization. I talked to both of them, and they're pretty excited about doing this. And one of the issues that the group has had before in getting recognized is that they were all varsity swimmers, and their coach wouldn't allow them or didn't have time. So this time, the group has gotten together non-varsity athletes for the most part to form the team. So we're hoping that's going to be pretty exciting for them. Another one that's pretty recently or somewhat new recognized is Active Minds for Case. And they are dealing with mental health on campus. I'm sure some of you have seen some of their flyers up about prominent personalities, TV stars, that kind of thing, about having different conditions. And I think they're doing a really great job. Keith, was there one that you wanted to touch on in particular, or?
No, I just saw Ars Poetica. I've never heard of that organization.
Yeah, that's another new one. They are dealing, well, exactly like the name says, they're a poet society, getting together to write and hear different poetic verses, that kind of thing, that they write. And that might evolve as they go on, but right now I think that's where they're at.
Other points, Representative Williams?
Just a point of inquiry. Do we have a significant or like any sort of groups that are dropping recognition as the years go on for different reasons, or what could you touch on that?
There's one group that comes to my mind right now, and that's ICTA dance group. And what it was a Southeast Asian fusion of dance styles, and there were 3 specific teams. Don't ask me to name them each right now. And the group, for one reason or another, kind of fell apart a little bit, except for one of the teams, the Ras Gundas, am I saying that right, Divya? Is actually still wanting to be active, and so they formed a new group, Case Ras Gundas, as a new dance group, and they went through mass funding, went through all of that. And so that's one that's kind of fallen off, and another one that's kind of risen to its place.
Other points for Vice President Downey? Okay, seeing none. Oh, Parliamentarian Brubaker?
I have 2. What is the Planetary Defense Force?
Okay, the Planetary Defense Force has actually been around for a couple years now, and they are actually really good at using their funding for exactly what they say and using it all. They do a good job for their, they don't actually hold events per se where we fund them. They are what's it called? It's a figurine kind of imaginative game where they buy tabletop, thank you, Representative Hoffman. So they buy set pieces that they can play the games with, and then they don't require any more funding for that. So, and they seem to be pretty active over the years. So.
Okay. And my second point is up because I like your sweater.
Thank you.
Okay, Representative Lupton.
Just a point of clarification, they do hold events.
Well, they do hold events. They're just not. We don't need fund them as USG.
Yeah,
I should
gotcha. I was going to say Twing Study over Halloween at Homes. They are active. I don't want people to get the wrong
that's
idea
what my
that
point was.
they
They're
don't-
very
they
active
aren't
over the years. Yeah.
Representative Brown.
One more point of inquiry. What is the Music Undergraduation Student Involvement Committee? 94 on the back.
I'm guessing that's a spelling correction. 94 on the back. Oh, there's. Thank you.
We can move to amend that one. Representative Cruz.
Oh yeah, so that should be Music Undergraduate Student Involvement.
So someone take note
Committee,
and
yeah.
for an
Wow.
amendment purpose.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, let's focus. Representative Cruz.
What is the case IEE? It's 35.
Case IEEE, is that what you're looking at, or? Case IEEE is the Electrical Engineering Society.
Okay, any other
professional
points
society.
about the bill for Vice President Downey? Okay, seeing none. Is there a speaker in the con? Shh. Okay, we're not sitting next to our friends for a reason. Okay, seeing no speaker in the con, we'll move into discussion. Discussion on the bill. Representative Lupton?
Question for Colin. Was there any groups, I think you said there's somebody here that's going to...
That's on the second bill.
Oh, that's on the second bill? Yeah. Okay. So, okay.
Representative Brown?
Move to change the spelling of Music Undergraduate Student Involvement Committee to the correct spelling of the group.
Friendly.
Excellent. Vice President Agarwal?
Colin, you said that ICTA is no longer a group now, however, it's listed as
Well, it's because
70.
that should be, wait, what number is that?
70? ICTA Dance Productions.
I apologize. If you want to amend that.
Move to remove ICTA Dance Productions from Appendix B.
Friendly.
Okay.
And to add,
Nope. Someone else has
Yeah, I
to
know, that's what I was
renumber. Someone else is going to need to amend to renumber them properly. Who is an elected representative? Is there a second? Is that friendly, Vice President Downey?
yeah, here's how you spell it.
As long as parliamentarian Brubaker has the proper spelling, it'll get in there. Other points of discussion on the bill? Representative Bagat?
Call the previous question.
Is there any dissent? Okay, seeing no dissent, at this time we're voting on Bill B 20-11 as amended. Please signify in favor by raising your hand. That was awkward phrasing. Okay, I can't count, so we're going to trust everyone else. All opposed? Abstentions? Okay, Bill B 20-11 passes. You have student groups for the fall. Is there any other old business, which is a trick question? Representative Williams.
Move to remove Bill B 20-12 from the table.
Second.
Okay, speaker in the pro. So as an outline for this, what will happen is that we will speak in the pro for this bill, answer any clarification questions, and then within discussion, we will hear appeals on the funding from our student representatives who are here tonight. So take us away, Vice President Downey.
Okay, so as it was introduced last week, this is just giving funding to student organizations for next fall semester. This is for events, capital items, plus their automatic 50 per group. And this is kind of outlined here and then also itemized in their budgets that are on each group's page under their document section, and that is a public document. It is locked for editing. Only Finance Committee can edit that, but it is available for viewing by the general public. And I do have, if someone wants to suggest an amendment, I already have one. Phi Delta Epsilon to reflect the document online. There is one typo on the sheet. Instead of the amount funded as $1,115, the amount is actually $1,065. An extra 50 was added in on the sums right here. So if someone wants to propose that, because I can't amend that right now as the author.
Okay, so any relevant points for discussion on the bill for Vice President Downey? Okay, Vice Parliamentarian Brubaker?
I noticed that Taekwondo and cheerleading are not on the mass funding form. Did they not request anything?
Some groups did not.
Okay.
And I still have not been emailed, so I'm either guessing they don't need funding or they're thinking they're just going to wait until next semester. So if someone knows something and they're just trying to contact me but they can't, please let me know.
Representative Thompson?
No. They get the recognition, which gets them, they're able to reserve the rooms, they get the printing, they get that, but they don't get the automatic 50.
Vice President,
So, sorry.
Vice President Agarwal?
On the front of Appendix A, Liberty in North Korea is listed twice.
So that's something we can move to.
Move to
in discussion.
Okay.
Representative Cruz? Oh, same thing. Okay. Any other points for Vice President Downey? Representative Shillow?
What do you mean? For next semester? So like hypothetically, if like their croquet club did not submit funding forms. Okay. So at the beginning of next semester, you can go ahead and talk to the Vice President of Finance for next year, and they'll walk you through the mass funding forms, which you'll have to fill out again and submit only that money will come out of rolling funding, so it might be less than what you would get if you had submitted something now, because it's a smaller fund, so.
Representative Cruz.
Does the student group improvement have an E in it? Because it says improvement.
No, it does not.
Okay.
It's improvement.
Yeah, because it says in Appendix A, it says improvement, and in Appendix B from the last bill as well.
So note that for amendments and
move
discussion.
forward, yeah.
Any other points for clarification on the bill? Okay, seeing none, is there a speaker in the con? Okay, so this time we'll move into discussion. My suggestion is we first take care of these spelling typographical amendments, then we'll move into appeals. Representative Williams.
Oh, wow. Motion to remove one of the Liberty in North Koreas from.
Okay, Representative Cruz.
Motion to remove the E from improvement, so it reads improvement.
Is that friendly? Okay. Yes.
That same error is actually then in Appendix B. So.
For typographical errors and spelling errors, the parliamentarian does reserve the right to amend grammar only, so it does not change meaning. So we can retroactively make that amendment before it's sent to the appropriate people. That's an acceptable change. Yeah, and it's an internal document, so we definitely reserve the right to amend typos. Representative Hale, not yet.
Move to amend by double 1,000 to that.
Okay. Any other amendments at this time? So someone needs to say that. So okay. So what Vice President Downey is saying that in effect, changing that will affect the legitimacy of the overall total, so it will be reflected for accuracy. Any other points for discussion immediately? So we will move into our appeals process. I believe we have 2 student groups here tonight to appeal. If you could, just one. Okay. So at this time, you can approach the podium. We'll allow 2 minutes for you to address the assembly and then 3 minutes for them to ask you questions. Then we'll move into a discussion on it, of which you can feel free to participate to clarify anything you'd like.
My name's Eric Yanone. I'm the Vice President of Finance of Phi Delta Epsilon, and we are requesting further consideration for mass funding for fall 2011. Our main concerns dealt with our, a couple of our rush events, our medical student panel, as well as our speaker that we typically bring in. We did not receive funding for that, and we were hoping that there would be further consideration for that, because these are typically our earlier rush events, and these are also how we get our names out there to students and how we are allowed to grow as an organization. And the medical student panel and the speaker, they're very informative and they are open to the entire student body. So it is very helpful for those who are looking at going into medical school. Also for our Children's Miracle Network banquet, we are requesting further consideration for mass funding, because we would like to be able to cover the cost of food and lower the ticket prices for our event so that we may be able to reach the $1,000 required donation towards the Children's Miracle Network. And we are already looking into lower our ticket prices towards $5, but we would like to make sure that we are able to cover the cost of food, because that was an issue last semester when we did hold our banquet. Also, in terms of advertising for both Rush and the Children's Miracle Network banquet, we are also hoping to request further mass funding for those as well, because that is how we get our name out there about our Rush events, so that students know what is going on, where, when, and where, and so forth. And thank you for your time. If there's any questions.
So, Representative Thompson?
For what we're requesting? For the medical student panel, I believe we requested $100. For our speaker, I believe we requested $90. For the Children's Miracle Network, we requested the full $2,000. And for the advertising, I think we just requested $25 each for the Rush events, and then for for rush in total, $25, and then $25 for advertising for CMN.
Representative Hale?
We got zero. We got money for only one of our rush events, and the other rush events we got zero for. We got zero. Yes, that's correct.
Representative Williams?
This is actually a question for the VP of Finance. Is there a way that we can pull up this form?
We're working on that currently.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Cruz?
Is this banquet something that you hold every semester?
Yes, this will be, I believe, the 4th or 5th annual Children's Miracle Network banquet.
Representative Lupton?
In regards to the medical student panel, you say you invite outsiders to come in, the whole student body. Can you touch on how many students have came in the past and how many students outside of your organization have came?
From our organization or just Rush?
I guess I'm talking, so overall attendance, I guess that's the first question.
Overall attendance has normally been anywhere between 50 and maybe 70 people.
Okay, and typically how many people in your organization, is that your organization?
That is our members and those who have come. And usually not all of our members of our organization come because our members are only required to attend 3 of our 5 Rush events that we typically hold. So I would say it's probably about half and half our members and Rushies.
Representative Thompson?
No, this is to cover the cost of food. We raise the money for our donation through ticket sales, as well as we hold raffle and other things like that.
Yes. Representative Beck.
How much would tickets to your Children's Miracle Network banquet be without more funding?
Without more funding?
Yes.
We've typically had it in the past at $15 per ticket. We could potentially lower it to $10 per ticket, and as you guys have suggested, we should lower it to $5 per ticket. However, I'm not sure that that is feasible with the amount that we've been given so far.
Representative Falkenberg?
You said that your events, such as your speaker and medical student panel, are open to everyone on campus, but how do you go about welcoming other students outside of your organization and encouraging them to come and getting the word out?
Well, we normally put out our Rush calendars all over campus for anyone that's able. We also create a Facebook group, and we've also, before Rush, this last semester, we just set up a stand in Nord where we just kind of got our name out there and allowed all of the other people, all of the other students to be able to know, passing out Rush calendars and things like that.
Representative Williams?
So just to clarify, are you're requesting $1,000 more for food, or you're requesting a total of $1,000 for food?
$1,000 more for food.
Any other Representative Hale?
The banquet, it's typically around 200 people. Typically, this is our large event. This is our big event every year.
There we go. Other questions? Vice President Hamilton?
I guess if you have ticket price $5, that would get currently still expect are you expecting at all that your attendance?
That's what we're hoping for. I am projecting around $200 or around 200, maybe 250. It's hard to say, decreasing it to $5, but that is the hope.
And been around this amount.
Yes. Last year we had a little bit of a dip because we did lack in PR. However, 2 years ago we were at around 200 plus who did attend. Last semester we ran into problems with covering the food costs, and I believe in 2 years ago we also had a similar issue. But last year we did have, we used Bon Appetit, and we are looking for a cheaper alternative. However, we do want to ensure that we're able to cover that cost.
Representative Thompson?
Who are entitled to Epsilon?
Yes.
I guess I'm just, but relative to
Well,
how much
the dues are actually small comparatively to regular fraternities. Most of our dues go, with the exception of $10, goes to our nationals. So we do not. They provide us with materials. I'm actually not entirely sure what. I think it goes towards our national, just supporting our placement on campus.
Okay, we've reached our time limit for questions for the speaker, so we can, by how long? Okay, so we can answer these questions as well in discussion. No, it is an amendment, so you can speak in the con. So we'll extend this by 2 minutes so we can get our last burning questions in. Representative Williams.
Question, do you have any money in your fundraised account or with the $50 extra that could be used? Because you said that you need $25 for advertising for one event and $25 for another, that those together, that's $50 that could come out of.
Those could be used for that. I think we usually do put that $50 towards if we do need to cover extra food costs, things like that.
But do you know if you have any extra money in the fundraised account that could help with this?
I think we usually, we also plan, we pay for our own chapter retreat and other small things like trying to get involved with other student groups, such as this semester, we're trying to get involved with the Student Dietetic Association and the Walk for Hunger. And so we try to set aside money for involvement in other campus activities rather than just trying to put everything towards our banquet.
Okay, so, oh my gosh, more questions. Representative Dooner.
No, we do not get money from IFC.
Okay, so Representative Falkenberg.
Have you thought about partnering with another student group?
Typically, because this is supposed to be our own event, because this is our national philanthropy, the national fraternity, this is our project. So it's not really recommended to partner with another organization.
Secretary Mueller, and this is our last question.
Have you ever considered having the undergrad ticket price lower than the other ticket price, whoever that may be?
Yes, we have considered an increased price for those who come from maybe off campus. However, again, I'm unsure if that would still be able to generate enough. Because we have had it in the past, very similar. So.
Okay, so at this time, with our time elapsed for this discussion, we're going to entertain a speaker in the con. If there is one, please be recognized. Vice President Downey. So you can have a seat.
Okay, so first I do want to say we did fund this, which means we do believe it is a good event. We don't mean to attack you in any way. And our reason for putting please lower your ticket price to $5 or less, even though that was in appeals and you couldn't technically change that for the next round of appeals, was that so you could come back to us in rolling funding next semester. Because large events like this, you have to meet with Colleen Barker-Williamson, our advisor, and she works with you. And there's a couple of particulars to this event that I wanted to kind of point out. So it is a fundraising event, and this can lead to something called double charging, where students pay into the SAF and it funds the event. And then they also have to pay a ticket price that's raising money for something, not necessarily going directly to costs of the event. So it leads to something like that. Now we understand this is kind of necessity sometimes, which is why it has to be funded in some form, but it's also why we try to not fund them as much as other organizations, other events. That being said though, we do hope to work with them a little more next semester when we have a little more particulars worked out. We also were hoping in the meeting that we could arrange some other groups to fund you that aren't SAF whether they're student affairs or other organizations. So that was just kind of some of the logic that went into that. But I did look up some other costs for other groups that we've looked at. And ISA, their big cultural show that has 550 undergrads, not counting non-case, is getting, I think it's roughly double this number, but it's also 550 versus 150. And the costs are going towards that. So there's a couple things we try to stay relative across the board, consistent with how many people are expected at the event. So that's why we funded in this way. Now, we were hoping to give them a little more next time as we know more details, instead of just putting numbers on there. Like, for instance, the security, it's $35 an hour per officer. So that's why we're a little curious why it was just 100. So all those kind of things we work out with Colleen, and then the group can come to us in rolling funding. And we usually give the money to them unless there's an argument or something, a misunderstanding or that kind of thing. And so I guess with that, I still stand by the Finance Committee's decision to fund it as such, open to points.
Representative Dooner?
No, it's not. The budget was $138,000 for mass funding that we passed in the budget previously. And that amount would most likely, well, historically, it's always gone into rolling funding for things like this. So.
Treasurer Moser?
I'd also just like to point out this is something that we did have to fund during our appeals, where our budget was much more restricted, and because of that we couldn't fund everything the way we probably would have if it had been done during normal mass funding time.
Yeah.
Representative Hoffman?
Didn't we, point of clarification for the kind of idea behind the event as well, you mentioned something like the ISA cultural show where there's a show, a performance, entertainment being provided, and that's what part of your ticket sale is kind of going to, whereas this, your ticket is going towards just a fundraiser.
Right. And I guess that kind of goes back to the double charging and, yeah.
Other points for Representative Beckett?
Can you talk a little bit more about the things that weren't funded that are not this banquet?
Oh, you mean the Rush events?
And the speaker and the panel.
Yeah, so we're going to post the minutes here pretty soon from mass funding, and 3 things were outlined as priorities. This event, the magic show, and then I think it's the barbecue, the one for $170. The magic show and the barbecue we funded in full, and then this one is the one we just talked about. And so we funded to their priorities because, like before, it is appeals, we have a limited amount of money. And so as more details are known next semester, things get more priority, rolling funding usually hops in for that. And that's another side effect of having to fund things in appeals where we are a little more restricted as opposed to the full mass funding.
Other points for the speaker? Okay, seeing none, we'll now move into discussion. I'm going to allot 7 minutes for discussion in the interest of everyone's time. Representative Cruz.
I'm just a little confused as to how much was originally requested. I've heard, I think, 3 different numbers. There's, it says, for like the total, it said about 2,250 or something. On the screen, on the piece of paper, it says 2,800 something, and it was said that there was 5,000 requested. I'm just confused.
Vice President Downey?
So, okay, sorry. Part of the reason there are differences in numbers, and this is a typo, and I was just going to get to this. When we originally got their mass funding, nothing came through but the full sum of what they requested, and that is that 2,820 number that was originally on there. So that is a typo, what they originally asked for. So that is a mistake on our part. So someone would like to amend that as friendly. Right, but to reflect the numbers. That's just for that event. So if you go to the cover sheet tab on the bottom, Doug?
So these are being amended for
5,610.
accuracy in adding, correct?
Well, it's, yes.
Okay, so that's an internal change. So if someone would like to amend that, Representative? Okay. So that'll be reflected to update actual math. Representative Thompson.
So if we funded this in full, would this put IDE at the most funded group?
No.
At least close to it, right?
Yeah, it would be close, but it would not be the most, yeah.
I guess like
My big concern here is, I know that these events are open to everyone, but I just feel like a group that has rush doesn't necessarily take everyone that, applies and has a dues structure already set up. Like, they could not necessarily get all this money from the SAF.
Representative Lupton?
Yeah, I want to touch on the medical student panel. I think that's something that should be funded. I don't think the full amount is necessary because people are going to be coming to the student panel anyway to listen to the speaker. You really don't need food as an incentive because you're going to get some knowledge. But I do think some drinks, some light hors d'oeuvres. So I wouldn't be, maybe $25 to $50, somewhere in that range, I'd be okay with.
Vice President Downey?
You can't change what they've asked for. We would need to fund the things that they asked for because it's what they said is a priority for their group.
Okay, so he asked for the full amount then, right? So he asked for 90, that's all we can.
Right.
So he asked for 90?
Yeah.
Okay, then I would be okay with funding $90.
Move to amend.
So what Vice President Downey is saying, that we can only give them exactly what they ask for or nothing?
Right, okay, so right up there.
Up there it says ice cream. So we can't change that to say hors d'oeuvres just because we think so.
Right,
It's
but you
their
can
event,
choose
so-
to only give them $50 for ice cream
Right,
if you would
exactly.
like to do that.
Yeah.
So you can change the dollar amount. The USG has the power to determine the dollar amount. We cannot say you have to give them popcorn or you have to give them a
Exactly,
specific
yeah.
thing. You can fund it as it sees fit.
Yeah, I guess I can't see, okay, so I don't know what they're asking for, sorry. I'm thinking about a dollar amount, and I'm thinking $40 would suffice for an event like this. I can't read, but I think maybe $40 in ice cream then.
So as a clarification question for the assembly, because I know it's in my mind, if the organization wants to change the item that the funding is going for, they can ask for a reallocation if they should choose popcorn over ice cream, correct? It would happen next semester. So you can choose the dollar amount, and within the same category, it can be slightly changed. So if you would like to amend the dollar amount at this category, we can entertain an amendment. But no one is focusing. No. Someone has to amend it if you, okay, someone has to amend this if we find it appropriate. Representative Hale.
Move to amend the allocation amount.
Okay. Point of, what? So this is an amendment within the amendment. So
do we have to?
This is our third layer. So what happens is we can, the amendment that is initially proposed by the club is to readjust the allocations. Within that amendment, we are amending what this is because it's left open to the assembly. So we'll change it to the dollar amount that we choose as USG. At that point, we pass it as though it's a written amendment to the mass funding bill. So if we are all in agreement with the amendment on the amendment, it can be passed as such and will alter mass funding, but it first has to alter this allocation. Parliamentarian Brubaker? It's inception. It is.
And since we're amending the amendment, the person who originally proposed the amendment, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Eric is going to be the one who decides whether this is a friendly amendment or not because he proposed the initial amendment.
So he can decide if this is friendly or not, but the assembly will still vote on whether or not this is an acceptable amendment. Representative Hale.
After some clarification, can I amend my amendment to the amendment?
You can withdraw your amendment and make a
I
new
would like to
amendment.
withdraw my amendment and move to amend the allocation for food to $25.
Second.
Is this a friendly amendment? Okay, so the assembly will now vote on the dollar amount being 20. I think because the initial bill was proposed by a body outside of the amendment, so the body does have to vote.
We're still, okay. We are,
Because this is not,
here's the amendment that we are in right now. We are amending the $25. Okay? So that was a friendly amendment. Now that is moot if we don't pass the overall amendment. So right now we have the allocation of $25 for the friendly amendment. Now we are back in discussion on the original amendment.
okay. I just wasn't, I was confused because it's within a layer. Okay, so Representative Cruz.
All right, this is just a question in general because I am completely clueless, but maybe somebody else knows. Why is it that this organization is not part of IFC, whereas
This
like
is a
we have an
professional
engineering
fraternity.
We have an
So-
engineering sorority. Is that different? That's part of Panhandle?
It's a social sorority.
Okay.
This is a professional organization. Other points for discussion? Maybe to be methodical, President Wynn? So we've examined one event, maybe to be methodical, we could do our due diligence and examine each event. Representative Beckett?
I want to talk about the speaker, bringing the speaker to campus, because that's relevant to this panel as well. And I think that if the cost is $100 to bring a speaker to campus, I think it's great to bring people on campus to talk. So I would like to fund that event.
Representative McKee?
Colin, point of information, the reason that we may not have funded this speaker, did you say we had funded other of their events already, like by their priority they listed? So if we had, oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's correct. They gave us in the minutes, I can show this to you if you want, they said that they had 3 priorities. The fundraiser at the beginning, the magic show at the end, and then the barbecue rush event as well. And those were the 3 that are given to us. And because it was appeals, limited time, all that, that's why we funded to those 3.
So we did fund 3 of their events listed by their priority already?
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Also, I want to make it, there's also a stipulation in our funding bylaws that the speaker has to be named to get over $50. And so I just want to make sure people are aware of that. When it's named as a contract, that's when you can get up to $500.
Representative Williams?
But is this not just for food? This is not actually for the speaker, though.
Where is, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Representative Lupton?
A question. Could I move to suspend Robert's rules and just, can we vote on this piece? So there's, in this big amendment, there's like 3 different subcategories. And I'm pretty sure a couple of the things that have mentioned won't be friendly, but I still want this $25 to pass because that was friendly. Could we
So what we'll
vote
do,
on that?
at this time, we will branch the initial amendment into separate amendments and vote as a
That's smart.
legislative body on.
This will be faster.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will kind of amend the initial amendment by process, not by content, to reflect each change individually so that the USG can vote. I think we're good on clarity. So we will vote, I think that's a very acceptable change. Is there any dissent to voting on each amendment individually so that should one amendment not pass, we don't have to do this again?
Yes.
Any dissent towards that?
No.
Okay, so moving back to the event with the $25 ice cream allocation. That was a friendly amendment by our speaker, but we're going to ask the General Assembly to vote to either pass or confirm, to confirm or deny this amendment to the finance bill. So right now you're voting whether or not we are going to give FIDE $25 for ice cream at this event. Representative Dooner? Okay, so all in favor of passing this, please raise your hand really high. I got 36 too. Okay, all opposed? Okay, abstentions? Okay, so the amendment passes. So there's an additional $25 into this section. Vice President Downey?
I updated the sheets.
Oh, okay. Representative Lupton.
Just as a discussion point, so I want to go to the $2,000, that event. Can we jump to there? I think Colin really touched on that really well, and I don't think we really need to go into that much deeper, because really what needs to happen is FIDE needs to go to talk to Colleen Barker-Williamson next semester and hash out the details. So I really don't think there's much as an assembly we can do in this event. So that's my discussion. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next.
Other points of discussion on the fundraising event? No, there was not. Okay, so other things that the assembly wishes to discuss at this time with the potential for amendments?
That was the one we just voted on.
We passed the amendment with the $25 for ice cream, so that FIDE is getting that extra $25 for their ice cream. Representative Lupton.
Yeah, I moved to vote on the amendment that the FIDE, I'm sorry, I forget your name. Eric, that Eric made on this event of the $2,000. So can we vote on that? So if we vote yes, we're going to give him $2,000. If we vote no, we're not going to give him $2,000.
So to clarify, he asked us to change, and so we'll either vote on no, we are not changing, or yes, we are changing.
Okay.
So his amendment is to adjust this amount. So if you vote in favor of this amendment, we'll have to move into discussion on adjusting the amount. If you vote in opposition, the amendment fails and the amount stays at what it is on this screen. So a yes vote is saying we're going to change it, and a no vote is saying we will not be changing it. So all in favor of this amendment to adjust the amount, please raise your hand. Okay. All opposed? Okay. What'd you get? 27? No. All abstentions? So the amendment fails, the amount will remain the same. Now we can move into the next event, which is the...
Event 3 is the next one.
So this is the speaker with the food and the speaker asking for an adjustment. Representative Cummins. Granted. Representative Williams.
I feel like we should fund this a little bit. Because it's not actually a speaker, we're funding food, and because it's open, I would move to amend, I suppose, the amount of food to, we'll say $30, the amount for drinks to $10.
Okay. There was no second. Can I have a show of hand of who seconded that? Who's, okay. You can't really, but that's okay. Okay, are there any other proposals for an adjusted amount, and we can vote on them as like a multiple choice kind of category?
Point of information. Eric says it's friendly.
We will vote on it because we're treating these as separate amendments to the initial bill. Representative Beckett?
Since we can't fund it completely because they don't have the person named, can this just be funded during rolling funding once they pick their speaker?
Representative Williams?
Point of clarification, that is only for the speaker, like a speaker honorarium itself. What's being funded here is like the food. So for example, if they had asked for $50 or $75 to like honor the speaker, we cannot fund that because the speaker's not named at this point. This is simply for the food around it.
Okay, so now we're entertaining other dollar amounts to fund this event. Representative Lupton?
0.
Okay, that, Representative Dooner? Vice President Downey.
AMSA has an event very, very similar to this because there are several medical groups on campus. AMSA is doing this already. We funded it. And so I feel that this is kind of repetitive.
So at this time, we're going to vote on this amendment. If there are no other dollar amounts, an objection?
What priority? Oh, they listed the historically, like, groups that priority. Okay.
Okay, so the dollar amounts that were thrown out there are a $60 total and a $40 total, with 10 for drinks and the remainder for food, respectively. 40, 60, and 0. So we're going to vote between those options. The clear winner will be we will vote to confirm the clear winner of those options. So we're voting on which option is the winner. All in favor of $0, please raise your hand. Yes? Okay. $19. Okay. So $40 for food, $10 for drinks, which is a $50 total. Please raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand right now and don't move it. Thank you. 40 for drinks, 10 for drink. The total is 40. Okay, at 13. Okay. You got what? Okay, everyone raise your hand again for 40. Like really high, like this is raising your hand. This is not raising your hand. Tom, I got 15. Okay. Tom, what was your total? $60 total. Okay. So the top option was $0 is the winner. So all in favor of this amendment essentially not being made, that it will stay at $0, please signify by raising your hand. Raise your hand again. We're having issues counting because people aren't raising their hands very high. I had 23. Okay. All opposed? Okay. Okay, so the amendment does not pass. The amendment passes in that it's not going to be changed. So the last topic for discussion. We're done. Okay. Representative Singh. Do we have a quorum number on us, Doug? It does. We have to vote on all of our bills. So at this point, Bill 20-12 as amended includes an additional $25 for Phi Delta Epsilon to fund ice cream at their event. So at this point, we're back into discussion on the bill, like that is the amendment that has been made. So if and when we choose to pass it, it will include that reflected change. Representative. Is there any dissent on Bill B 20-12? Calling to previous question. Okay. So all in favor, please signify by raising your hand. What'd you get? All opposed? Abstentions? Okay, Bill B 20-12 passes. Thank you for your patience. Is there any other old business tonight? Representative Bagat? Granted. So we're now into new business, which does not include additional mass funding appeals, but should include nominations, I believe. So we need to open a arts and sciences representative position tonight, and we also, I believe, is the election commissioner, according to Mintry's updates. Okay, so we can open those nominations at this time. Someone has to, President Nguyen. No, you have to open the nominations. Okay. Okay, so we can entertain nominations at this time. President Nguyen. I accept. Vice President Hamilton. Representative Williams.
Representative Sabe.
Representative Lupton. They have to have USG experience. She was a rep at the time she served. Representative Hale? Granted. Other nominations at this time? Okay, those will remain open. We can also open nominations for College of Arts and Sciences. Vice President Dorbeck. Okay, any nominations at this time? Okay, those will also remain open. Is there any other new business this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll draw your attention to the advisor's report that is on the back. That's not actually the next item, though. It was not on the thing, so now we're in open forum. Starting with our USG feedback report, Secretary Mueller.
Yep. So there actually wasn't too much this week. It was just the feedback things have gotten increasingly more angry, but now it's just like typical like bon appetit stuff, and then someone's upset that they get held up in the student affairs judicial process, and it takes up a lot of their time. No, because they're incredibly inappropriate. Yeah.
Any points for open forum? Vice President Hamilton?
So there have been a few major or minors that have been created or ended. There's now a general business minor that requires accounting, finance, management classes, etc. There's also a mechanical engineering and design minor. Mechie's did not have a minor before this. And a history of technology major has been discontinued because no one has graduated with it in the past 14 years. Sunsetting.
Other points for open forum? Treasurer Moser?
I'd just like to point out quickly that the Finance Committee meetings are nowhere near that tedious. So anyone interested in Finance Committee or being treasurer, it's a million times easier in committee.
Peggy would like a successor for treasurer. President Nguyen.
I wanted to say this during announcement, but I want to thank you, those of you who are going to go to the concert or the, I guess, comedian later tonight and sticking all the way through to this GA. It shows your dedication to this organization. I really appreciate it. I know it's a long time.
Okay. Other points for open forum? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into announcements. Representative Williams.
Just really fast, this Friday is Phi Kappa's Casino Night. It's going to be in Carlton starting at 7:30. 7:30 is the poker tournament. It's going to be awesome. 8 o'clock is the actual start of it. It's going to be a ton of fun. It is pirate themed. So come, pre-sale at Nord, and yeah, and in case I didn't mention it, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Parliamentarian Brubaker.
Representative Williams, is it correct that that event benefits hole-in-the-wall camps, which are summer camps for terminally ill and chronically ill children?
That's right, we will be gambling, period, for the kids.
And that there will be massages?
Doug was going to use a pirate.
That is actually true.
Representative Sabe.
Today, right about now, Russell Peters will be doing stand-up comedy. I think it'll be great.
Representative Brown.